Why do I feel like lately anytime I give a gas pump or a grocery store just like a fleeting like side-eye glance, $50 is drained out of my bank account? Girl, I personally have no idea what to do about the rising cost of just living your life, but I do know that finding ways to save money is probably a good idea. And that's why I'm glad I found Upside. They're a free to download app that allows you to earn cash back on every purchase on gas, groceries, or dining out. I know what you're thinking. It sounds too good to be true. Like, what's the catch? But there is no catch. It turns out like retailers just like want your business, so they're willing to forgo some of their profit, pass on the profit to you in order to get your business. It's really easy to get started. You just download the app from the App Store, claim whatever offer on the app that you fancy, and make sure to check in on the app when you're at that location. Shop as you normally do and then pay as you normally do with your credit or debit card, and watch the cashback build. And you have the ability to cash out your earnings anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or even get an e-gift card to like Amazon or somewhere else. I have been mainly using this at the pump, and I think that I'll just let my rewards just build, just let it sit there, kind of forget about it. So for a day when I think that I need a little treat, there's a little fund for me. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you can earn, click my link in the description, download the app, and use code B to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the QR code to go ahead and claim this offer. Why don't we just jump right into this vlog and make some dinner? It's not normally a place where I start a vlog, but we're feeling a little crazy today. So on Reels, TikToks, Shorts, Pinterest, anywhere you can consume short form content, there's a barrage of bro recipes. Usually like super high protein, delicious looking like meat and cheese meals that there's always a different like shirtless bro behind. It's like an enigma to me. Like they're just always pretty much the same recipes, just a different dude. Because it seems from the outside like they're just ripping each other off. Okay? And all these accounts have like 1 million followers. They have just like a group of bros that are all doing the same thing. And they're just like, bro, did you make the cheeseburger Hot Pockets yet? Yeah, bro, I did it. And like they're all just like backing each other and supporting each other's pages and stuff. I don't know. Someone needs to do a deep dive into this because I'm curious. Like there like I don't know why in my brain it's like there's a conspiracy going on here with all these shirtless bros. I just feel like there's some kind of something beyond the surface that they're not letting us in on. Like some people are suspicious of the government. I'm suspicious of these bros. It's such a stupid thing, but I can't help every time I come across a video just to think about it in a conspiratorial type way. There's probably nothing to it. Watch, they're all in the Illuminati or some shit. Anyways, we are going to adapt one of their recipes, which is cheeseburger Hot Pockets. So we're going to start out by making the dough part of the recipe, which is just basically the high protein naan that I made, but we're going to be encasing a filling into it. I'm not going to measure this stuff out. I'm going to make extra dough because I hate not using the entire container of something.
Still is?
Would you like some yam skins? Would you like some yam skins? Would you like some yam skins? You wouldn't pass up yam skins. Yam skins?
Maybe Doug. Doug.
Those yam skins. After what seemed like my entire life cutting various bits and bobs, we're finally getting into the cooking and assembling portion. Starting with the filling, which is supposed to be reminiscent of a cheeseburger, so we press the beef to the pan to get it browned thoroughly and season the meat with like 12 different spices. And Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. No one can ever say that. Anyway, another staple to these bro recipes seems to be reduced fat cream cheese. Like seriously, every single recipe I've tried has it in it. But you know what is rarely found in these bro recipes? A vegetable. So I'm adding my own razzle dazzle into the mix in the form of spinach. I've said it once, I will say it 1,000 times. You can sneak spinach into anything. Anyways, what really makes this filling burger-esque is the addition of diced pickles, and there's also jalapenos in there too. So that completes the filling. and now I'm working on a side, which is going to be rosemary Parmesan oven sweet potato fries. Parmesan is great stuff. Turns out the harder cheeses have very little lactose in them, so if you have a bit of an intolerance, Parmesan doesn't destroy your life. But now onto the messy bit, the dough. I saved half of the batch for future use and separated out 8 balls as equally as possible, and then rolled them out, and I placed too much filling inside. I managed to pinch them shut best I could, and here's where the too much filling thing came back to get me, because girls, these were bursting at the seams. They managed to come out of it semi-handheld though. This was an extremely rich recipe and not my favorite. It wasn't bad if you're into handheld meat hucks. Steven loved it, but he's also a weirdo that prefers meat over bread, so his opinion really isn't to be trusted. I give it a solid meh out of 10. Too much work. It's easier to just make a flatbread separately and put the filling on it taco style. As you can tell by the giant blank space behind me, I finally got the living room back and there's no longer 15 chickens in here, which is great. They're all in the coop, they're thriving, all of them still alive. Love that for them. That's more than I can say for the plants that I put out in that greenhouse last week, because they pretty much burned to smithereens immediately. Like one full day in the greenhouse, torched, gone. I'm very sad about it. I don't want to talk about it. It sucks. I don't know how we have vegetables or fruit. How do people make this work? But I'm glad I at least got the chickens to work out well. But while they're no longer in here, this immediate area is the dustiest that it has ever been in my entire life. I did not know this about chickens, but dusty as hell. Okay. Like, I just want you to take like a gander real fast at this plant. It looks like a volcano went off, like just layers of ash. That's only a couple of days of dust with these chickens, okay? They're little dust making machines. Where does the dust even come from? I don't know. I was trying my best to keep on top of it, but like when you move the whole apparatus that was here, you see some horrors. And I'm kind of embarrassed to share, but also, there was 15 chickens in my living room. The people need to know. But what we're going to do right now is a deep bottom of the ocean clean on all of the surrounding things, okay? We're gonna make this living room livable again and not just for birds. So let's get into it or whatever. Listen, I thoroughly do not know what I'm doing when it comes to cleaning a rug. There's a high probability that I will ruin this. My plan, because I don't have a carpet cleaning machine, is just to slap it up here, spray it with a hose, maybe scrub it down with some Dawn. It's probably not the right soap to use, but it's better than nothing. And if it's good enough for baby ducks, it's probably fine for a rug. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell you immediately, this was not the best way to go about this at all. Mavis has a vendetta against hoses, so that added a layer of difficulty that I was not anticipating, but even if she hadn't been there, this plan was flawed from the start. I mean, I was using dish soap and an exfoliating brush that I had in the shower that was too rough for my skin to clean it, for crying out loud. And listen, this rug was heavy when it was dry, but when I got it wet, forget about it. But because moving it was impossible, I had to leave it out in the middle of the yard to dry, and as you would expect, before it dried all the way, it rained the next day and got soaked again, spent several more days outside, and now it has a smell that it did not used to have. I don't know what to do, but the vibe is like, it's not coming back in the living room. Anyways, on to the bit that I didn't ruin, the dusting. I just ended up filming the first wipe down with a damp cloth, but I ended up going over these surfaces multiple times. I just filmed the one time that might be aesthetically pleasing. I don't even know if you care to see it the first time, but girl, this is my real life, my real dusty life, and this is what I do. Instead of explaining to you how to clean, because I'm not the one, girl, I'll instead tell you about a story of the one time I did like this like little odd job with my friend whose brother worked in fire restoration, and they'd go in and thoroughly clean these people's houses that experience house fires, but they were short, so we tagged along and worked for 2 weeks for them, and I thought I was cleaning stuff good, but her brother was just like going over the things that I had already cleaned. So I was like, what the heck? Am I not seeing something that's on them? Or is he just a perfectionist? I mean, it's good that he was thorough, but ever since then, I've had this complex that I'm just like not cleaning as good as I think that I am. But anyways, even cleaned the couch, didn't ruin it. It doesn't look a whole lot different, but it is way cleaner. Steven's like, I think this is the cleanest I've ever seen the house. And he's not wrong. It probably wasn't even this clean when I moved in. Okay, so we got 2 corners of the living room area done. I still haven't tackled the kitchen. Me and Stevie celebrated our 1-year anniversary a little while ago. And so I am thinking that I am going to try to convince him to like let go of some things. Because when we combined households, we had like 2 of everything. And now that it's been a bit longer, maybe he'd be okay like getting rid of some of the stuff that he hasn't touched in a long time. We just kind of have like a bunch of clutter that we might be able to donate now. So we will see about that, and that will be good. But I think the next biggest project is the office when it comes to organization. And as always, as a looming in progress in the background is like the weight loss stuff, which I talk about like here and there, but like it's always going to be just like an in the background thing. I am losing weight, but it's slow. I've looked back on it and I've lost 7 pounds in like a month and a half. It's not bad at all, but in my head it's just like dragging on, which is fine. Considering that I've been dealing with like a little bit more anxiety and stress lately. I think I need to figure out ways to manage that. I'm not too like hung up on the weight because I have been working out a lot. Grace has been making me workouts that are like building. So I've been like gaining strength and I've been working on my endurance as far as like running and stuff. So physically I'm feeling a lot better. It's just like the weight for whatever reason is holding on. I think because like I said, more anxiety, more stress, cortisol just wants to hold on to that fat for dear life. Whatever, but to like kind of keep you in the loop without mentioning like, oh, I lost X amount or whatever else. And also to provide like a little bit of a visual aid for me to just kind of remember like, oh, I've lost this much so far. I've seen people do it in the past where they've gotten little rocks or marbles or like those aquarium bead things, those like glass pebbles, and they just like transfer marbles from one jar to the other and it signifies like weight lost. There's over 100 marbles in this jar, but I decided that I'm not really going to be focusing on a specific number just because I read a book recently. The author was Alan Carr, The Easy Way for Women to Lose Weight or whatever. That series of books has a lot of other books based on certain addictions like quitting smoking, and some people swear by it, so I was like, let's see what it's about. It got very preachy with an agenda, although it claims to not have an agenda. I won't get into that, but there was like some nuggets that I took away from it. One of them being to like not have a specific weight loss goal in mind, because in the book, and I guess in one of their workshops, they were like, how much do you think that this athlete weighs? It was like I forget the athlete that they used, but she was like a marathon runner. I googled her and she's just like super lean, super muscular, and then they would go around the room asking people to like guess her weight, and then at the end the person's like, I don't know how much she weighs, but she looks good, doesn't she? She looks healthy, right? So I don't think it matters like the number on the scale. And I was like, true. And so it just kind of clicked for me to just not have a weight loss goal. But at the same time, I do feel like weighing myself would be a good way to figure out if what I'm doing that week is moving in the right direction. But you could use all kinds of different things. Slapping my ass on a scale every week is easy to me. I'll just use that. Because I like using measuring tape and getting my inches too, but like, that's a whole freaking process. Like trying to slap that thing around my arm and making sure it's like all straight and doesn't twist up or whatever. It's like not that big of a deal, but it's not just like a quick measurement kind of thing. So I do that not as often. But I thought the marbles would be a good way to like visualize it because, you know, I was thinking like, oh, I haven't lost that much. But if I saw like 7 marbles in a jar somewhere, I'd be like, oh yeah, the 7 marbles. And you know, my ass has to like bring it up a notch too. So I got this magnetic marble run. It just magnets to the front of your fridge and you can make like little Rube Goldberg machines and do the marbles. And this is probably the last time I'll explain like what the marbles mean or whatever, but yeah, so if you just see some random marble nonsense, that's what it is. It's like a talking about it but not talking about it kind of thing. And I think it's kind of funny, like, oh, I'm losing my marbles. Probably true in like both senses of the meaning, but I digress. And by the way, I'm not like worrying that I'm not losing weight fast enough. I'm just like kind of, I don't know, I've mentally accepted that like I'm gonna have to forever do something to improve my health. So I'm making like small tweaks to my lifestyle, but like trying to do it in a sustainable way, like so I'm not miserable. And it's something that I'll actually stick to. I don't know. We will see how it goes. But other than that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!